Welcome to Epicenter, the hub of innovation in the heart of Helsinki, where ideas come to life and creativity thrives, where innovation meets community. Get ready to learn, network, and make an impact. Let's go.
All right, hello, Epicenter Helsinki. How are you? This is called training. Now I don't even have to ask for the applause; they come. It's a year and a half of training makes everyone clap for you. Yeah, yes. All right. So I know that it's super sunny outside, and you've decided to spend it with us. So I'm super happy for you. But no worries. After this, we're going to have our networking in our terrace, our outdoor terrace up outside. So once we finish with the content, then we'll have more food and drinks on the outdoor terrace. So we will get a bit of sunlight as a reward for sticking around for the content being indoors where it's not so bright and sunny. But we're going to get that sun too. How does that sound? Yeah? Okay, great. So I bribe you now with food, drinks, and sun. All right, so hey, my name is Joey Bayer. I'm the head of community here at Epicenter Helsinki. Epicenter is a playground. It is a place where entrepreneurs, scaling companies, thought leaders come together to truly innovate with impact, challenge societal norms, and make sure that we are invigorating our local entrepreneurial ecosystem. We do that by promoting events just like this, bringing people together to learn and highlight emerging trends in technology and to talk about how the world isn't so scary. Yeah? Okay. We have a bit of a tradition, I think as many of you know, because I see so many familiar faces, where we take the first 10 seconds of each of our events and we just go absolutely bananas. We clap, we cheers, we yell, we scream. What it does is it sets everyone's nerves a little bit less. We feel happy, we start smiling at each other. Sorry, I just hit the wrong button. Clearly, I'm the nervous one. Then I also feel good about myself too at the end of the day. So let's take the first 10 seconds and absolutely go bananas. Go. Yeah. Look at that. More of that. More jumping around. There we go. Awesome. And foot stomping. I got chills. Okay, hey. So I want to welcome you all to AI Search. This is a monthly series where we look into a myriad of AI applications and ethical considerations, from the complexities of multimodal deep learning to the transformative impact of AI in industries like retail, finance, and entertainment. Tonight we're going to look at the future of business and unlock the full potential of artificial intelligence to revolutionize your operations, supercharge efficiency, and skyrocket sales. Who doesn't want any of those? We'll offer insight into transforming mundane tasks into engines of growth using the power of AI. So, how does all of that sound for you all? Yeah? Shall we begin? Great. Okay. So, let's begin. Our first speaker is a CEO and co-founder of one of the top AI agencies, helping businesses all over the world save time and improve efficiency by implementing custom AI agents and AI automations. He has a rich background in running a growth marketing agency and is renowned for providing practical, innovative strategies that drive real-world results. Let's give a huge round of applause to Matthias, who's the CEO and co-founder of 1 Second AI. Keep it going for him. You got to show him more love than me. He's going to do all the work here. Here you go.
Cool.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Joey, for the introduction. I don't need to introduce myself anymore. So quickly, my name is Matthias, and indeed, I'm one of the co-founders and CEO of 1 Second AI. Without further ado, the topic of today is something that will be really practical for any business in the coming years and months as well. It's all about, as Joey mentioned, about AI agents and AI agents kind of doing the boring manual work for us, so we don't have to do that. So all about saving time, improving efficiency with these cutting-edge systems, automated workflows, and virtual workers. And when I talk about virtual workers, I mean AI agents. It's just like two different names that I like to use. So basically means the same thing. But basically the agenda today, quickly, what are AI agents and how they are actually automating tasks that we were previously done by humans, ensuring the 24/7 operational and kind of really ensuring the quality as well. Then quickly about how does the AI agents actually work and how they are transforming the manual work we do. I don't want to go too much into the technical stuff and like how the backend is actually built and how we are using like AWS and all these different large language models and everything, because I want to kind of, as I said, like focus on the practical stuff and really give you something that most of you will understand. So not too techie detailed. Then I'll go through a couple of real world examples of like these agents that you can actually put into your workflows, into your automations, and get some good value out of. And then in the end, I have a couple of free bonuses, quick insights value for you guys, so you can kind of leave this event with something practical as well that you can use right away this evening or the next coming weeks. But you know what, my goal in here is to really make this the most valuable 15 minutes that you have ever had, because what I'm about to share today might change your business forever. Cool. There's quickly kind of my background, now kind of running as a third co-founder of 1 Second AI, also part of growth marketing agency called Aloda, and background in kind of all over like growth marketing, e-commerce, AI operations, stuff like that. Then briefly about like what we do. Of course, kind of the topic of today is really the core of what we do as a 1 Second AI. So we really in core help businesses save time, improve efficiency, and really accelerate growth by building and deploying custom AI agents that automate entire workflows or smaller tasks previously done by humans, and all without compromising quality or security, because that is really the most important thing about this AI task and AI application is that we actually get the quality right day after day after day, and then it's actually the quality of outputs are something that we as humans do, and sometimes even better as well. And then about the agents, you can think that you get a 24/7 all-knowing AI worker to free up precious time and do work that humans shouldn't do. So the manual work that everyone hates and way beyond that as well. But the fact is that everyone wants to unlock the potential of practical AI, but very few have actually implemented AI solutions that bring value to the day-to-day operation. Everyone is talking about, okay, you can do this cool transformation of my face into a astronaut or police, or I can become a dinosaur by using Midjourney or something like that, which is cool, of course, which has applications. But I want to really focus on the practical business day-to-day operations. Quickly about the impact, I think everyone knows that AI will have a huge impact on how businesses operate overall, and hopefully many of you guys have implemented AI in some form or another into your day-to-day lives, whether it's just using GPT or building some kind of automations and kind of systems inside the business. But the fact is that AI is going to change the business, and in an era where every single second counts, competition is super intense. Leveraging AI will really be the key differentiator for your business, and something that is just a must-have investment in the future of businesses. Quickly about industry adoption, there was a survey by Gartner revealed that 37% of organizations have already implemented AI in some form, which sounds like a low number, but also sounds like a really big number compared to that year ago, 2 years ago, there was maybe 0.5% of companies actually using AI. And of course, when GPT came out, then the adoption was higher, and now it's around the 37%, which is amazing. Then Statista is basically showing that AI adoption can boost revenue by 6 to 10% on average. These is kind of the stats. As of now, of course, I believe that it will be much higher numbers in the future, and kind of all the different efficiencies and operations will also correlate to business and revenue growth as well. So will be a higher number in the future. And then At the moment, over 60% of business owners say that AI will increase productivity, which I absolutely agree with. But yeah, that's kind of the really positive sentiment over the AI, which took a little dip at some point. AI doing stuff that we don't want it to do, but now people are very positive about AI and kind of what it can do to businesses. But jumping straight into agents and how they work, I want to kind of, before I jump into the actual workflows and how they are built, I want to quickly touch on kind of how we are currently using AI versus what is the workflow with the agent and how that is different. So basically, at the moment, what we have with ChatGPT and all these copilots and everything, it is a so-called non-agentic workflow where we type out the prompt, we wanted to write a blog post, an essay, whatever it is, on a certain topic, and it does it in one go. We'll give it examples, we'll give it like all these other context as well, but basically it is just one prompt and we'll get one answer, and then of course we can refine it and ask it to do more and more. But then the agentic workflow is how I like to call it. It's basically a big loop, big automation that goes around and around, where the agentic workflow works like us humans. We don't go and kind of write a whole essay in one go and it's ready. That's basically the non-agentic workflow. How we humans work, the goal is to write the blog post, write the essay, do this and that. And then what we do first is, okay, we'll kind of decide what kind of blog post I want to do, what is the task list I need to do to achieve writing then getting the blog post done. Then I plan it, okay, this is the tone of voice I want to use, this is the structure, whatever it is. That's basically the agentic workflow. We want it to the goal is to write a blog post outline on topic X. Then it kind of thinks, okay, do I need to do any web research to make it happen? Then it does that, writes the first draft, then it considers kind of what parts needs to revision. Okay, do I need to write the whole thing again, or kind of is this actually good compared to the quality that is the goal? And then it writes again, it revises. So it's kind of the continuous loop of iteration and improvement, all working automatically. So that's kind of the difference between the two workflows. Quickly, I don't want to spend too much time in here, but what are AI agents actually? You can think of the AI agents kind of on the back end, it's technology that combines the large language models, LLMs, with your own company's database, with different tools, memories, instructions, and actions. So you can think the AI agent as kind of your all-knowing 24/7 virtual workers that has access to all of your company's data. It knows every single file, every single text that there's ever documented on a cloud server or wherever you are kind of placing your files at. It has access to all of those information, and to be honest, it knows more about your company than any of the employees working for you, because it simply has access to all of your databases. It has access to every single file, whether it's a Zoom conference call or email or like file in a Google Drive, whatever it is. So that results in a 24/7 working virtual employee. And yeah, it can perform daily routine tasks either autonomously, so we can build an autonomous AI agent which doesn't need any human verification. So whether it's basically an agent going through all of your emails and kind of analyzing them, sorting them out, that's kind of an autonomous loop. Or then with a human verification, they're basically the same loop. We can put the AI agent to read through all of the emails, write drafts, and then with the human verification, we verify that all the replies, all the answers are correct, and then as humans, we just click and send them. Then compared to like traditional automation, how agents are different. They're not just designed to follow a set of instructions, but as said, kind of to adapt, think, and really like act independently. So they are not just like X number of rules that I follow. It's actually that I build an AI agent that thinks, that kind of reason, observes what's happening around the environment, how the task is going compared to the goal, and kind of does this just like us humans think about the whole process. And the good thing about these AI agents, it's basically they are adapting over time, so they learn from the process. They kind of become smarter and smarter all the time. So it's a huge advantage to kind of have an AI agent built into your company early on, because then it starts to know every single day more and more about how you write, what is your tone of voice, and kind of all these different things. And yeah, as the core thing is, these are autonomous and they perceive what's happening around them. And yeah, as you'll get a kind of all-knowing virtual worker to do the same exact workflow previously done by humans, at least with the same quality, or even better, more efficiently, faster, and 24/7. They don't need any coffee breaks, which is cool. Then in here, quick kind of visual about the flow. So as I said, there are programs that can kind of reason and act. We have, to the agent, we have connected a language model. Then kind of the loop starts by kind of doing the reflections, performing the different actions that we want to do. It goes to the environment and kind of from there observes, again, reasons, plans, using the different tools that are connected to it, whether it's kind of Google Drives or whatever different tools we want to use, and it kind of does this. And then it goes back to the language model, again, kind of AI in working there. Here in a kind of simple format, kind of what is the different route the agent takes. So first, of course, we have the goal in here. What is the goal that we want to achieve with the agent? Then the agent starts and basically creates a task list, creates a set of tasks, and understands kind of in which order it should complete them. Then gathers all the information so we can put the agent to browse the internet, crawl any internet sources. If we need to kind of find external information, we can go through all the kind of databases that are connected to the agent. So that means your Google Drives, your Dropbox, your any cloud servers, wherever you have different files. And then it can also connect to different agents, so we can put all these different agents to work together. There's a blog post agent that writes the blog post. There's a review agent, copywriter agent that kind of reviews the whole blog post. We can like build these together. So there's the kind of information gathering, which also includes kind of getting the information from the other agents if needed. And then it does some data management, strategy refinement, and from there it goes to kind of feedback iteration, assesses how far it's still kind of from reaching the goal, what do I still need to do, and then kind of the loop goes on and on to the kind of the continuous operation, running these tasks, and the adaptive learning until the goal is met. The AI agent will keep iterating and kind of creating more of the tasks. Then jumping into kind of some of the real-world use cases. These are just a couple of use cases and a couple of AI agents that I'm going to show you. There's tons and tons, hundreds of different agents we can of course build, and every company has their processes, has their systems, and different agents that will be kind of the most valuable to them. But these are a few examples of what we at 1 Second AI are basically building. First, we have a deal agent called Dexter. We like to give them these kind of cool names. Basically, what it does, just in this scenario, as an example, so it crafts personalized proposals, does note-taking from every external or internal video meeting. It overall changes the sales process and acts as a sales support. So basically, we track all the emails, all the Google Meet, Zoom calls, Team calls that we are having at the front of the sales cycle, all the conversations that I'm as a salesperson having throughout the sales cycle. It basically, we put AI to track all of those, and then it notes all of the information that is basically what I have discussed with the prospect and kind of what the prospect is saying to us and all these different things. So it records records all the meetings, and through that we have all the information gathered in a central place. We put that into AI, into the LLM, and then the good thing is that because we have the database of hundreds of different proposals already built for past customers, we can put those as an example to the AI, so it knows kind of what is the structure, what is the tone of voice we use, etc., etc. Then, based on that, we can basically create these automated proposals, so we as humans don't need to do those. Quickly about kind of AVA, customer support agent. There we can give a lot of assisting to the customer support persons, whether it's automatically the agent AI going through all of our incoming tickets and kind of tagging those, reading those, putting like draft answers to all of the tickets that are coming from customers, or whether it's just a support person that knows everything about your company, and then when the customer support person is on the phone, gets a question that she or he doesn't know, then the customer support person can basically ask the question from the AI agent, and then the AI agent will give the answer in seconds because it has access to all of the different information about your company, so it also knows everything. Content agent can produce a lot of personalized, to the tone of voice we want content. We can put it to follow different, for example, if we want to create content about for LinkedIn or blog post about AI and what's happening in the AI world, we can put the agent to follow all the information, all the news or the tweets, LinkedIn posts that, for example, OpenAI or Microsoft or Google is publishing. We are following all of those. Based on those informations, we can create blog posts, these LinkedIn posts automatically with AI, kind of summarizing it to the tone of voice and to the style of content we want to use. So automatically personalized ideas and ready to publish content on the company's own tone of voice. Then, in terms of the data agent, this is a huge as well. So we can basically, with the agents, as discussed, we can connect all the different tools, all the different sources to it. So we can monitor like all the company's internal data, what's happening in the sales stuff, customer retention, whatever it is that we want to track internally. We can kind of put that into the AI and then kind of create those reports, summaries, like whatever we want to kind of get as an output every single week, every single month, yearly, whatever it is, automatically, and kind of get those directly to Slack or Teams. So with this, I can kind of track all the different data that is happening inside of our company, get weekly reports to our Slack, or then if it's an external sources as well, we can put it to monitor all the different data that is happening on the financial market and kind of get summaries of what's happening in the financial market automatically. So there's basically a whole junior researcher, data analyst job almost replaced in there. Of course, we need the human in the loop to do the verifications to really help on the process, but hours and hours of work saved on that. Continuing some real-world examples. I'm not going to go through all of these because we are running out of time, but basically how this customer support agent works. We have the incoming ticket, then the AI, basically we categorize the ticket, then that is connected to some backend custom components, and then with the AI, with the different AI databases and LLMs, etc. It reads through all the incoming tickets. We have an answer template. Okay, this is the template that we want to use for all of the answers. The AI notices that, kind of writes the answer to the incoming ticket in the correct tone of voice and templates. Then we can do the human verification if it is actually a good reply for the customer. If yes, we can just click and send, and we can also edit it and kind of decline it as well. And then at some point it could be all automatic. Then in terms of the offer proposal agent, deal agent, Dexter, or whatever you want to call it. Basically, it starts from tracking all the customer conversations, remote meetings, phone calls, emails, whatever it is. That conversation is then converted into text. So it's all text-based. We kind of transcribe or put all the video, the voice, put it to text. Then that is connected again to the backend, to the past successful data about offers and how those are structured, how the pricing is structured in similar cases previously. All the different databases, the large language models, whether it's OpenAI or whatever is kind of built on the back end. And then it goes through all of that again, kind of in the doing the agentic workflow, so assessing the things that it's doing, reviewing it, kind of going through the loop, and then whenever it has a good answer and kind of achieve the goal, then the goal is basically to create a offer, create an NDA, SLA, whatever is kind of the output that we want to get. That is kind of, put it very simply, that's the process. But of course, if you want to know all the kind of techie things, you can discuss with our CTO, so he can explain all the different things that is actually happening on the back end. And then quickly in here, lead generation agent, which is pretty amazing as well. We can put the AI to crawl, to follow different websites, social media profiles, extract all of the information from there, crawl the data, and then we can kind of filter the data so that the followers, the company, the industry, whatever kind of are the filters that we want as a company to use, we can filter the different people, the prospects, and kind of categorize them in the way we want. And then we can automatically crawl all the information, the contact information about the person, and then we basically write the emails automatically, write the message, do the messaging with the prospect automatically, or just get the drafts if we don't want it to do automatically the first time. And then it basically goes into a cold emailing system, for example, or a LinkedIn system where it automatically kind of talks with or sends the first messages with the connection request and the first messages with the prospect, or then sends kind of the emails, and the prospect shows interest, and again we can put an agent to reply to all of the emails that we got, and kind of put all the information to CRM and kind of do all of these customizations. So there's a lot of things that can be built into this. Quick summary: AI agents are these autonomously working programs that kind of perceives what is happening around them. They are all-knowing virtual workers for your company that knows everything about what you do. The key in here is that you have to have the information documented. So if the information is in your brain, of course the agent can't yet get into your brain. So it has to be documented in some way. Agents will be a core of any business in the next coming years. Of course, I'm very bullish about this because all the thing I do is based on these. And yeah, of course, everyone knows keeping up with AI is super important, because if your competitor is going to apply AI and you're not, so you're going to be in a big trouble in the next coming years. In the future, we'll have these kind of AI agents that I just talked about, working as a family for our companies. So we can have 10 different agents all working together, solving a specific problem that we want to solve, which is huge as well. And I'm really kind of looking forward to actually getting those implemented, the whole AI families. And we are all beginners in here. I'm a beginner. I barely know what I'm talking about. Maybe I know something, but yeah, when you start early, you also get to collect the best rewards. Sometimes you have to take bigger risk when implementing AI, but yeah, that will also benefit later on. Quickly about the bonuses, as I said, just for fun, I wanted to give kind of. There are, of course, a lot of prompt structure that you can use, but there you have the best prompt structure to use if you want to grab it. If you already know how to prompt perfect prompts, then don't scan it, but you can scan it. It's a quick document kind of telling in a very human language how to do prompts and what is the best structure. I'll give you 5 seconds to scan it. There's some phone still, so Let's see, 1, 2, 3, and one more. Okay, going to the next one. Best prompt for ICP creation, so ideal customer profiles, of course. I'm a marketer, so I want to include something marketing related as well. So I highly suggest you revamp your ideal customer profiles for your business if you are in kind of in that position. That's basically a full document that AI will do, or kind of set of prompt that AI will do. I have never done such a thorough analysis of our ICPs before I used these kind of prompts with the AI. But then the last question before I go, this is what I want you to think about every single night when you are going to sleep, every single day, when you are working, doing your jobs, your things that you do. If everything were possible, literally everything, which workflow or process would I want to automate and put an AI agent into? I think that's a good way to kind of think about the AI and kind of what it can actually do, because it can do a lot of things. It's just a matter of implementing and how much do we need to actually invest into it. But that's a good kind of broader way to think about it, and then you can kind of work down from there what's actually feasible and if it actually makes sense for the AI to do it versus the human to do it. So, of course, there's the ROI question in there. But that's all I had today. Thanks for your time.
All right, let's give Matthias a huge round of applause. He's actually going to stick around with us for the panel discussion. So if you'd like to take a seat, I'll invite our second panelist. So our next panelist is no stranger to the Epicenter Helsinki community. You've seen him buzzing around. He is stand-up guy. He also saved my butt today. Unfortunately, one of our other speakers backed out last moment, and Colin, without a shadow of a doubt, just sort of popped in. So saved me from crying alone. So he's a serial entrepreneur who has founded and built companies in 17 countries. He started his career as a professional rowing coach. He then spent 5 years in the UK government looking at how big data can be used to improve user experience. Next, he co-founded multiple startups before a spell in a private equity firm in the US. He coaches C-suites of startups who are trying to go from good to great in AI, gaming, and ed tech verticals. So please give a huge round of applause to Colin, who's the head of advisory here at Epicenter Helsinki.
Woo! Thank you very much. Joey's too kind.
And because I promised the sun to everyone in the audience, I'm going to just fly through this.
Oh,
right?
sure.
We're gonna no need for formalities. We'll kind of get right to it. So, a recent study by PwC projects that artificial intelligence could contribute a staggering 15.7 trillion to the global economy by 2030. This immense potential highlights AI's transformative power in driving economic growth through enhanced productivity, innovation, and efficiency across various sectors. As AI technologies become more integrated into business operations, they are revolutionizing how companies manage their processes, from automated routine tasks to optimizing complex systems. So, Matthias, we can start here, or Colin, maybe we can, whoever wants to take this. But with AI technologies like automated operations transforming businesses, how do you see AI improving efficiency and productivity in everyday business processes?
Yeah, maybe I can start. I think that kind of presentation was a core of like what I see in that route. So, of course, these kind of agents are maybe more like complex things that we can build into the everyday operations, and will handle a lot of work for us. So whether it's kind of I need to prep for a sales meeting that I'm having, I can have that automatically done by AI. Okay, there's a meeting in the calendar with the X company. I need the research before I jump into the sales call. I can get that automatically, which of course saves time of kind of doing the research and kind of going that route as an example. So these agents are a key thing of that, and then of course kind of the using the AI to go through the text-based things. That's kind of course as humans a big kind of time-consuming thing is to go through text, go through data, and analyze that. So I see a huge opportunity in there.
Yeah, I'll just add a couple of things on there. Look, I think it's worth remembering how we got here. So OpenAI, ChatGPT, you know how it's built. It's built on public data or data scraped from the internet. Wikipedia, transforming all that, allowed us to effectively build these models. And I think we've all been really charmed by their fluency, particularly large language models, the prompts that we put in, the response we get back. What didn't go in there is effectively company data. Yeah, because it was locked behind walls, because it was secured in servers, because it was in different data centers. If companies now start utilizing that data set to transform their business practices, they'll unlock huge benefits, right? Because they'll get a different view on the data that they've been able to see before, because they'll be able to join up all the different fragments, in the customer call center, in the CRM system, and everything else, and they'll unlock massive benefits. Now, there'll be some companies that just do it with a proportion of their stack, and they'll get a proportion back. And there'll be some companies that, for a variety of reasons, do their whole company stack, and they'll get big benefits back. And I think what we'll also see is software eating the world will move into other sectors. So energy as a sector will really get transformed by AI in a way that it hasn't to date. So I think we'll get really big benefits, very tangible benefits. You can see this in the steel sector today. Steel is undergoing a massive transformation via AI because you're simulating what's happening in blast furnaces that they just couldn't do before, and what properties going into those blast furnaces to make sure that the steel that we come out is better quality. And I can't envisage a world at this moment, I'd love to do it with low carbon emissions, that doesn't have more steel in it.
And we talked a little earlier, we had a sort of pre-panel chat, and you were mentioning a specific example on how these sort of optimizing complex systems has made one company really, really efficient, specifically how it's impacted their operational efficiency. Do you want to maybe highlight that a little bit?
In terms of Klarna as a good example. So obviously, Swedish company Klarna, I think most people knew they had a bad patch last year where basically they didn't go under, but they came pretty close. Their valuation dramatically dropped. They basically were pretty desperate in a go for it way, and they rebuilt their whole tech stack. They inputted AI across all their business units, particularly customer service and customer support. And AI now handles the bulk of their customer support. I think it's now about 80% is the latest figure. But the most important thing for that, don't think about jobs changing. Think about that they dropped their customer support response from 11 minutes to 2 minutes. Right? And they were able to roll it out in 35 languages that they couldn't touch before. Right? So they were able to serve their customers better, quicker, in more places. And I think that's a good example of a rebuilt tech stack that serves the customer well.
Do we see any downside to increased AI automation? And if so, how can businesses address this issue to ensure that it's a balanced approach?
Okay. So look, I think we will hit controversy very regularly. There's just been a massive data breach in the education system in Helsinki, right? I, as a parent with kids in school, I've had like 4 emails today on data breach in Helsinki. Now, we don't know what it is and we don't know how it's happened. But ultimately, one of the challenges with AI is how you manage that controversy and how you view what the agents are doing, and you keep a layer, not necessarily of control, but at least of oversight. And there was a big scandal in the Netherlands in 2013, which broke in 2020, which some of you may or may not be aware. It brought down the government. I'm not saying the Helsinki data breach will bring down the government. But it brought down the government because what happened was that effectively the tax authority in the Netherlands had effectively deployed an AI system focused on identifying fraud. Right? So we're trying to reduce fraud in the social care system. Social care has fraud problems. It's kind of part of the system. The AI system had basically been deployed. Clearly, the safeguards were not in place because effectively single parents got bills of over 100 grand that they needed to pay, euros that they needed to pay back to the state pretty quick. This controversy dragged on for about 7 years, brought down the government. About 26,000 people were implicated. And it was a good example of where we'd released AI, but we hadn't clearly put the safeguards in place. And we hadn't clearly had the oversight on it. And obviously this caused real controversy and human lives got ruined. You know, families broke up and unfortunately a few people committed suicide over it. So as we use these more powerful tools, we need to ensure that we have at least oversight of their rollout. Because we will, like a data breach in Helsinki, we will occasionally make mistakes.
So there's a need for, as I call them, AI auditors.
AI auditors is clearly the new job title.
I want new job titles, AI auditors. Someone to at least oversee, right? So that, so there's not that. And you mentioned this in your presentation, that there's a significant trend in the business world, and by next year, AI is projected to be a top investment priority for 30% of CIOs. This underscores the growing recognition of AI's potential to drive strategic initiatives, enhance operational efficiency, and deliver substantial competitive advantages. As companies start to prioritize AI investments, they're seeking to leverage its capabilities to revolutionize customer service, like I mentioned, streamline operations, and unlock new revenue opportunities. So against this backdrop, how do we see AI-driven virtual assistants enhancing customer service experiences? And what future developments in AI do you believe will further personalize to improve these interactions?
Yeah, I think the whole kind of customer support side of things of AI is really huge. Of course, there's a lot of customer support happening and that's kind of a relevant topic for every single business out there. In terms of, I think the AI, we have to make it super human-like. So if the user experience with the AI is not good, the customer is not actually. It's basically seeing that it is an AI and it does not work properly. It will leave a bad experience to the customer, and then that's of course not a good thing. But then, if as a Klarna example, if we can reduce the time of response from 11 to 12 minutes, or kind of solving the case into 2 minutes, that's a super good customer experience. I as a customer get my case solved in a super quick way, even if I'm outside of work hours. So even if I'm kind of sending a message midnight, I'll get an answer. I'll have a conversation going on, whether it's kind of the chatbot or in the future could be a voice AI as well, answering to my phone call and then kind of doing the whole conversation in there. The AI has access to my case, my profile, my data. Then that of course is a kind of big benefit in terms of the customer experience, the personalization, as well as kind of replacing those, or kind of switching the human tasks into things that the AI cannot do. So on that side of things, the customer support is a really kind of, I'd say, huge thing that is happening at the moment, and I say it needs to become better over time if we want to have the kind of the mass adoption and then really have it working properly for businesses. So we still need to kind of improve the quality and actually make things that are not robotic chatbots that everyone hates.
Yeah, let me come in with a couple of examples as well. So before I lived in Finland and before I lived in Poland, I lived in America and I lived in Texas.
Sorry.
No, it was good. It was a really good experience. But we did live through a Category 5 hurricane. It was called Hurricane Harvey, and it was Category 5, and basically not much wind, but an awful lot of water. And Houston basically got flooded. Now, Houston is a people are going, my home is flooded, I need money, how can you help, there is a problem, etc., etc. Again, imagine a situation now where effectively you ring up your insurance company, you're on your video call with them, you're standing in your house, you're up to your knees in water, you've got mosquitoes around your head, and you basically walk around your house showing you that there's my refrigerator floating out the door, here's my house flooded, etc., etc. Sadly, this happens. And what's happening at the time is that the agent is capturing all the information in video, capturing there, checking your records of what you previously said that was there, and then at the end of that conversation, your claim is settled and the money is transferred to your bank. That is not possible under the current system, and it wasn't possible in 2016 for Hurricane Harvey. People's insurance claims got processed within 9 to 12 months of being flooded. They were all living in caravans and having a really shit time. So that's one example of where AI can actually dramatically work for the customer benefit. The other one, when I'm not doing stuff for Epicenter, I do a bit of work for the World Bank. And I've run a project in Rwanda where we've looked at the post-traumatic stress disorder implications of the genocide. And the genocide was quite a few years ago, but the implications of society still reverberate today, though Rwanda is an extremely positive and wonderful place. What we're starting to do now is roll out a system, it's not launched yet, where effectively we offer stress counseling for those who are affected by the genocide at the scale of 4 million people. So this would be rolled out in multiple languages to 4 million people. Now, no disrespect, the Rwandan government cannot afford, there aren't 4 million, there isn't 500,000 counselors that you can deploy, yeah? And the Rwandan government doesn't have the money to basically have 500,000 counselors. Now, these AI agents are doing a job that we cannot, A, afford the people to do, or B, we don't have the people to do. Now, don't get me wrong, is it as good as a human doing the job? No. But we don't have a human to do the job. And to quote the Rwandan government, basically, something is better than nothing. And at the moment, we have nothing, and we've had nothing for 20 plus years. So that's why they're fast forwarding that particular project to basically support humans at scale.
I mean, it'd be really interesting to know from that case and from the Klarna case that we mentioned earlier, what was the customer satisfaction, after that, and if there's any data on that. Do you have anything or?
Rwanda hasn't launched yet, but okay. Klarna, look, this is a thing that we can do in the Epicenter where let's feed back on some of these conversations and actually look at, what was the implication? So you sold my customer query from 11 to 2 minutes, but did I then become a repeat customer? Yeah. Did I increase my customer base? It will also be interesting. I'm not sure, I can't see for the lights, but Inca from Boost. So again, they have a really interesting model where Boost is a clothing brand. I'm not in the demographic, but hopefully somebody is. Where they basically service the clothes and then do a return policy. So again, when you're basically ordering clothes in, some fit, some don't, then you order them back. Again, customer support is super important, right? And how well you get treated depends on how much you repeat order and depends on how much you return and how much you get sold in the first place. Do we actually go, oh no, don't buy that jacket, Colin, it won't work for you. Yeah. From an AI agent that looks at my customer profile going, those shoes, no way.
Yeah. Well, while we're on there, let's stay with that because technologies have enabled businesses to tailor interactions, right? Just like you mentioned, and recommendations based on individual customer preference and behaviors, leading to an hopefully increased satisfaction and loyalty. This level of personalization, while initially thought of as creepy and like my iPhone is listening to me, that's so scary, I think it's transforming how companies engage with their customers, right? So making interactions more relevant and of course more impactful. So can we discuss how AI is being used to tailor these experiences? You just gave one example now, right? Don't buy that sweater, Colin, it doesn't look great on you. But I think you look great in everything. But what is how is it being used to tailor customer experience and what's the impact that this is
We are helping a company that has a call center, and they have an insurance company where we are basically removing the call center where the customers they are calling with their incident, they are telling where they are, what happened, and all of these informations, or they want to know about their insurance policies and all these different kind of things. Then if we can replace that with an AI that is very authentic, sounds like a human, and can be empathetic and have this kind of human-like conversation, that will be a huge implication for businesses. And this, of course, kind of differs from sector to sector. We can do, of course, this kind of personalization, e-commerce experiences, recommending the products. That is a key thing, but that same thing kind of goes into different business models, whether it's a SaaS, where I'm deciding like what is the best kind of subscription I need to have for my case, where I tell about my experience, or even if I'm a new customer, I could have a kind of voice conversation with the company and kind of discuss of my needs, my problems, and then from there I'll get a kind of exact personalized answer to my case. So that's kind of a huge thing that will be a kind of big.
This is workflow for Uber. It is, right? You go on Uber, you want to order a cab or Lyft or anything else. You have to adopt the workflow that designer has built. You don't really get a choice. You use their product or you don't. We're about to shift from that world, which we've all been trained in, right? Use the apps the way that the way they are built. So now you're going to start, AI is going to come to you and basically go, okay, Colin likes this particular workflow, right? He likes a workflow where he does this, then does that, and he wants it in purple, et cetera, et cetera. That's going to change. You're going to build interfaces with users in a very different way to how we build them now, right? Which I know is a bit of a brain jump, right? But believe me, the personalization is going to come very fast. So I'll give you an example. That's the kind of app one. Did anyone watch the Google I/O event last week, other than him? Special prize.
I watched it yesterday because
yeah. So Google I/O basically launched an event. So like OpenAI did their spring launch, Google did their launch. So the Google event was really cool as well, right? The OpenAI got more press, but Google was cool as well. So basically they gave an example of personalization in education, right? Now, don't get me wrong. I know education. I ran an education technology company. We had 100,000 schools using our product around the world. We personalized as much as we can, but effectively, we didn't get anywhere near what's happening now. Right, so they used an example where effectively they wanted to teach physics to a high schooler, right? And they said, okay, can we teach this physics curriculum to this child? Not this child, this imaginary child. My son is out there, we used to be. And they'll say, okay, here's the content, drag it across, now create me a podcast, right, with this American guy talking to this American woman about physics. Okay, right, the podcast is now live, you can listen to this podcast, right? It's literally created on the fly. Okay, but this high schooler is really interested in basketball, so can we make the podcast about basketball? So now the podcast's about basketball, right? So it's the physics curriculum in a podcast form about basketball, and then they go interact, and then you literally dial in like a radio chat show, and we go, okay, can you give a specific example for my son Toby? And the podcast hosts that don't exist, they're just AI agents, turn the example in real time. Hey, Toby, we'd like to talk to you about this. And then off we go, and they'd start talking about that. So I ran an edtech company. We were super successful. We were light years away from that personalization. So now you have the ability to take any knowledge, put it into any form that you want to digest, and then interact with it in real time based on your personal needs.
it's growing concerns around ethical implications and data privacy, and OpenAI had to surrender using Scarlett Johansson's voice because they cloned her voice for one of their models without getting her opinion, and she was kind of like, no, you can't do that.
That was a bit of a dumbass move.
Yeah, but I mean, but she also had the money to do that, right?
Yeah.
So for the sort of average person who doesn't have that the push to secure and protect themselves, how do we ensure that AI implementations are ethically sound, right, and compliant with data privacy regulations, and what measures should businesses take to maintain trust with their customers? And I don't want to spend too much time on that because I don't want to doom and gloom here. But what should companies be looking at to make sure that they're ethically sound and compliant?
Oh, okay. You don't want to spend too much time on this because we'll end up in the bad place. But look, you've got something happening in the US which is really about regulatory capture. Okay, so you've got the OpenAIs and the Googles and the who are basically going out there and going, these models are so powerful, we need control, only the biggest tech companies in the world should have that control. Oh, by the way, I'm a big tech company, nice to meet, right? So that's a challenge there. The problem here is in the European Union is we've put some good regulatory ideas in place, but we've got no money, right? So we don't have the data centers and we don't have the computes to create the models. And even if we do, like Mistral coming out of France, who have they just done a deal with? Microsoft coming out of the States. So kind of hasn't worked. Okay, that's the doom and gloom regulatory stuff. We can talk about that over a cocktail. Okay, this is where I think we should focus. Right. Are you trying to build a product that your customers actually love? Right? Are you trying to delight your customers? Are you trying to do something that is remarkable, which they then remark upon, which gives you word of mouth business? If you do that and you take that approach, the kind of Sean Ellis score, build stuff that people love, you will not misuse your customer data. Right? You will treat your customers with respect. Yeah, you will safeguard what they do. You will build by privacy and protection by design because you love your customer and you want to keep them for the long term. If you treat your customer as a commodity, and I don't care who you are, you're just a buck in my pocket, then you will do what you do. Yeah. Now, generally, there are some really good examples. Yoti is a good example in the UK that is basically builds privacy by design. That has locked itself out of its own customer database, so it cannot become Facebook. Yeah, and they do age verification, facial identification, IDV, the kind of stuff that eSign Bank does in Finland, but at much bigger scale. And the irony is Yoti, basically, because they're so trustworthy as a brand, and because they have these privacy and they have a transparency board and a regulatory board, and they lock themselves out by design, who has to use their products to enable save face? So their customers are Facebook, Instagram, OpenAI, yeah, big tech that we're supposed to be trusting have to use this small little British company because they're actually, who would trust Facebook with their data? Hands up, nobody, yeah?
Well.
Right, do you know what I mean? So this is the challenge. So I would bring it back to, don't get sucked into the regulatory conversation. A lot of it is about regulatory capture in the US, sadly. Focus on, are we trying to build things that our customers will love?
Well, that sort of goes to the next question, which is what balance needs to be struck between regulation and innovation to foster both ethical practices but also growth moving forward.
Yeah, I think as a quick answer, of course we need to have the regulations in place as well, so we don't blow everything up and AI takes over the world or whatever. But also we cannot regulate too much and actually give the room so that we can play with the AI. We can kind of get the AI to be creative and to be innovative all the time. So there of course needs to be the regulations to kind of keep people safe and actually control in some way what is happening and kind of that's for us as a humans the thing to do to actually kind of move the AI to the direction that we kind of will have the best and most positive impact in kind of to the whole world. So that's kind of the regulations we have to do and keep it in the lines, but also the key is to leave the room to the innovation as well, and kind of push forward these models as much as we can kind of within the lines.
I think it links nicely into the topic. Is like we've kind of evolved the technology. Like, remember what I said earlier, we've done a really clever thing. We like put all our books online. We basically then train the models based on those books. And now we use those books, those models as tools to improve our productivity as humans, right? So we're kind of printing press to kind of Wikipedia to now models to now move the human race forward. Hopefully the human race flourishes. The critical question there is, how do we get human judgment to improve? Alongside, we've scaling machine intelligence. Are we actually scaling human intelligence, right? Are we getting smarter? Or are bald guys invading other countries because what the hell?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Do we have two geriatrics trying to basically become the most powerful dude in the world, right? How are we scaling human intelligence alongside machine intelligence? Because we're doing one, we need to do the other. We need to see this opportunity as an opportunity for the human race to flourish and grow, and I'm very positive. And we need to stop shooting ourselves in the foot.
Well, that would have been a great segment to this whole cue card I had here on human judgment, but we don't have time for that. So I will congratulate myself for great questions later on. But we're going to open this up to... I've trained you too well. We're going to open this up for Q&A. So we have the opportunity for 2 questions. So if there's someone in the stairs, we can go to you first, and then we'll come closer. But make sure that you speak into the mic, because we are recording this session. So is there anyone in the stairs who has a question? Yeah.
Thank you very much. Very good talks. Very simple question. What is the role of emotion, human emotion, whether it be creativity, decision-making, leadership? What is the role of emotion, and how do you see it playing out in the role of AI? And it obviously relates to intelligence. Thank you.
That's a very, very good question, and I think from the first days of the whole AI thing coming up, we have evolved a lot in there. So already there's some like voice tools that can be very like empathetic and be emotional and kind of learn from your tone of voice of kind of how you are feeling. So we are going into that direction already, and I think as well that is a key thing to kind of how we already in terms of kind of being a conversation partner to yourself and kind of actually you can have a conversation with the AI. But I think that is a kind of implementation area that of course kind of needs to be happening all the time when we are kind of in the context of doing things with humans.
Just quickly, and I'll happily chat to you about it afterwards. So I don't know if you know, but I'm not on many boards, but I am on the board of the Emotions Foundation, which my friend Brian in Denmark set up because he really wanted to look at this particular area, specifically around how emotions are regulated. And that's led us down a particular rabbit hole, particularly in Africa. Some of that work has then impacted on the stuff I chatted briefly about in terms of Rwanda. But I'll save that because I talked about it earlier, and I'll talk about AI teddy bears instead, right? So probably in 5+ years, you will see an AI teddy bear on the market that will be effectively support. When I say teddy bear, I mean like a companion for your child, right? doesn't actually have to be a teddy bear, but how that model is trained and how it reacts to that human presence will matter greatly. And I think what will be very interesting on this, because there's no way, regardless of what you say in society, that somebody won't do it. And some parent will use it badly, and some parent will use it brilliantly, et cetera, and we'll go into an even deeper state. It's not that the models necessarily understand us, but they'll understand the reaction that they're causing, and that's interesting. So maybe let's talk about that one over a cocktail. But we're going to go down that particular rabbit hole very deep.
We have time for one more, sort of in this area or over there, if we have a question. No? Okay.
I can't see. I don't know how you
yeah,
can see.
We'll do the one. The stairs are always the active ones.
Hi.
So.
Just wondering, there's a lot of talk about skills that are going to become irrelevant with the development of AI. So what about the skills that will develop and will be needed in the future? So looking at the other side of the coin and being positive then. So I'd like to hear a bit about that.
Other than AI auditor. Look, just briefly on this one.
Yes, the AI auditor is the new
So look, just to be clear. So I mentioned briefly, I do some stuff for the World Bank. World Bank is all about promoting jobs, right? But the World Bank's view on jobs is that jobs are a series of tasks that then add up to a job label, right? It's not a thing that stays immovable for entirety. It's basically a stack of tasks, and the tasks get sifted over time. So there's no question about this. I think that the tasks will change, and so McKinsey, well-known strategic consultancy company, basically have created their own private model called Lily. And they have taken over 100,000 plus documents. And McKinsey is famous. If anyone's ever seen a McKinsey document, it's like 400-page PowerPoint decks. Like Boston Consulting Group does exactly the same. These monster things, huge tasks to put them together. And you'll find very few McKinsey people who enjoy doing it, right? Very few. There's probably 10, right? And it's a big company. That task gets taken away very, very quickly because it's not actually a great use of human intelligence. It's very much a good use of machine intelligence. So that changes quite quick. So that one disappears. But does that allow effectively the McKinsey consultant, et cetera, to spend more time understanding the real needs of the business, and working with the real customer and understanding the layers behind the data and to see past and see through what they've done. So I do think, and I know it sounds like a push answer, we will do more with human intelligence because we've actually scaled machine intelligence, right? And I think that's where I see the task set. So a lawyer going to trial, we've already seen this with Harvey AI, which is the basically, what was this? Suits? Suits, okay, yeah. So basically named after the guy in Suits. But basically it's trained on all the law documentation, all court law, all case law to enable the lawyer to make a better decision because it's now so difficult to keep all of that in your head so that you do get to do the stuff at trial based on the latest documentation or do the deal based on the latest document or do the contract based on the latest documentation because we've scaled machine intelligence so that you can do that bit. Now the question is can you stack all of that to being a particular job? Yeah, or is that split out a bunch of people? That's where I see this one going.
That's the perfect answer.
Yeah. Okay.
All
right. So I'll give you one quick second. You take it no more than a second to answer this question. Future trends, right? AI development. What do you think is going to be the most significant impact on businesses in the future?
Agents.
Okay, great. Let's give a huge round of applause to Colin and Matthias. Normally, I would have them come off the stage, but I'm just going to stand here. You can stay with me. We'll do this together. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the event, we're a community, a playground of local change makers who come together to share ideas, network, and grow. So the networking part is a huge portion of what separates us and what really makes this community stand out from all the rest in Helsinki and in the world as well. So a little bit of house maintenance. So the stairs leading up here is how we'll get to the outside terrace. The bar is there, and there will be food. My colleague Maria is waving at everyone, so we can just walk up those stairs immediately and onto the terrace, so we can enjoy some sunlight. But also on Monday. So we have events that we do every week. On Monday, we're continuing our Sustainable Solutions series. This event is going to look at the food tech industry and how consumer-driven trends are reshaping that industry. So we're going to explore pivotal trends at the intersection of food technology and consumer behavior driving sustainable practices. We're going to look at 4 major areas. So implementing sustainable technologies to combat climate change, integrating nutritional science to boost consumer health, diversifying protein sources as a mainstream option, and enhancing consumer trust through transparency and traceability within food tech industry. So that's a really, really cool conversation, like all of the conversations that we have here, and all of the events are free and open to attend. That's kind of going to be the last one that we do before we take a bit of a summer break, because it seems like we're going to have a beautiful summer, and I'm competing with the sun. And I know I can't get you all here every week to sit in the dark room with me, but hopefully we get to have some fun on the terrace right now, have a few more drinks and some food. So thank you all so much for being here. We're going to stay here for 2 seconds just to take a photo, but everyone else, please go enjoy the terrace, and we'll see you out there shortly. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.